In this video, I'm going to be speculating what Thorpe Park's next roller coaster might be. I'll be giving suggestions of the type of roller coaster I would like to receive, as well as reading out some suggestions of what other people have said, and I'll be responding to them as well. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, first of all, I'll be saying some suggestions of the type of roller coaster I would like Thorpe Park to get, and one of them being a wooden roller coaster. And the reasons for this is because Burn Entertainments really do not have a lot of wooden roller coasters. The only two are Colossus over at Hyde Park in Germany, and Coastersaurus, which is a smaller version, over in Legoland, Florida. So I think wooden roller coaster will be a very good addition. Another reason why I think it'll be very good is because a wooden roller coaster not only looks different to steel coasters, they also give off a different feel to a lot of the roller coasters, especially a lot of the roller coasters over there at Thorpe Park, because the wooden roller coasters really deal with the airtime hills, so you sort of come out your seat a little bit. It focuses a lot on the negative G's, where a lot of the Thorpe Park rides focus on positive G's, so again it gives us a different feel to it. And it also have lap bar restraints, whereas all the other major roller coasters over at Thorpe Park have shoulder restraints, so you're more free. So again, gives off a different feel to it. So yes, a wooden roller coaster would be very good. Maybe between 140, 180 feet high, I think would be very good, making it the tallest ride in the park, just behind Stealth. And it'll probably reach speeds 50, 60, maybe hitting 70 miles an hour. I think would be very good there. And if you see here, Thorpe Park did actually put up a couple of posts with a picture of a wooden roller coaster, and with the caption basically saying about, would you like to go on a wooden roller coaster? And there's been a lot of comments saying that they would like them to get a wooden roller coaster. And with that whole putting up a wooden roller coaster, are they going to get a wooden roller coaster? Possibly. I think it'd be very good as the reasons I've given. And actually, there was supposed to be a wooden roller coaster coming to where Saw the Ride is now. If you see here, that's the proposed idea of a GCI wooden roller coaster, but Saw the Ride went in the place of it, which is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. But they might take this idea again and use it again. They might go for a different manufacturer other than GCI. GCI, I think, would be a very good manufacturer to work with. They're quite well known in the wooden roller coaster industry. Another possible manufacturer, Gravity Group. They're a relatively new group, so that'd be very good. And another one I was considering is the Intamin. They do wooden roller coasters, and they have worked with Intamin a lot. They obviously Stealth is at Intamin, Colossus is Intamin, and also Colossus over at Hyde Park Resort. That is also an Intamin wooden roller coaster. It actually says here on the Intamin site, it says here about the wooden roller coaster that they actually designed the track beforehand, whereas a lot of these wooden roller coasters design it on site. As opposed to the Intamin, who design it in a factory. They use some of the latest technology in machinery, so you get more precision, and it gives an overall smoother feel to it, and the ride can last longer, and therefore become cheaper in the long run. So I think that'd be a very good one. And it's also quicker to put up. It fits together much like a puzzle, or much like all these other steel roller coasters do. So yeah, I think that'd be a very good one to then consider. Another manufacturer I was considering, and this really all depends on what Alton Towers' next roller coaster might be, because there is a lot of rumours going around that Alton Towers are going to get a wooden roller coaster, and you can check out News Drill episode 2 in the link here, which gives off the idea of the rumours, in that it might be a wooden roller coaster or Alton Towers. So let's say Alton Towers are going to get a GCI wooden roller coaster, then I prefer Thorpe Park to maybe get an RMC wooden roller coaster, Rocky Mountain Construction one, or vice versa. So let's say Alton Towers are going to get an RMC, and Thorpe Park should maybe get a GCI and Intamin. But I think an RMC would be good for either one of them, really. And the reason for that is because the RMC are known for being very smooth rides, because they combine the wood and steel element together. And this allows, obviously, you can have inversions much more smoother than you can on your regular wooden roller coasters, as well as more your steeper drops, so you can do much better cornering in that. So I think that'd be a very good one for either one of the parts to get, really. But like I said, they do inversions, but I would prefer the wooden roller coaster not to have inversions, mainly because Thorpe Park have a lot of roller coasters with inversions. So I prefer them to sort of go out of the inversions, because you don't need inversions to have a really good roller coaster. I think this one should focus a lot on the negative G. A lot of the airtime hills I think would be very good, and that's what they should work with more. And another manufacturer I was considering, and again this all depends, if Alton Towers get a wooden roller coaster, then maybe I wouldn't mind Thorpe Park not getting a wooden roller coaster, and they can get this roller coaster instead, which is a B&M hypercoaster. And these are roller coasters that go over 200 feet tall, have high speed, and again they have lap bar restraints, so you're more free. like the wooden roller coasters, and they focus a lot on the airtime hill and the air ejection, so I think that'd be very good for them to get, and these are often well received all over the world. So B&M Hyper I think would be very good. There was one reason why I originally didn't want them to get a B&M Hyper, and that is because I still, to this day, want Stealth to be the tallest ride in the park. I think if there's another ride taller than Stealth, I just think Stealth would lose its appeal, because it's like the signature ride. So if you have one taller, if you see here, I just think it just wouldn't look good. A roller coaster's got to be good, but it's also got to look right with all the other roller coasters around it as well. But I think what they could do to still make Stealth the tallest in the park is maybe use some ditches. So you could have maybe do something like Apollo's Chariot over at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So it's like 170, 180 foot high chain lift. But they use some ditches, so it could actually have a 240 foot, 250 foot drop, and make the drop quite steep as well. It could reach speed of 80 miles an hour. I think that'd be very good. Again, using a lot of the airtime hills, some helixes. Make it a very out and back layout like a lot of these B&M Hypers do. So I think that'd be another good one for them to get as well. And Thorpe Park also did put up a post on Facebook, like I mentioned with their wooden roller coasters. They did one of Behemoth over at Canada's Wonderland, which is a B&M Hyper. So again, does it suggest that there might be a B&M Hyper? And again, I looked at the comments, a lot of people wanted a B&M Hyper, so this could be another one that they are actually considering. I can now be considering some possible locations where the next roller coaster might be. And there's only really one wheel space where it's going to go, and that is on the island here behind Swarm, if you see there. So I was thinking maybe some couple of entrances into the area would be here by Swarm, or over here by the gardens near Stealth. They could do two entrances over here. That'd be very good. Some bridges going over it. I think that'd be how you get onto the island. And if they were to install a wooden roller coaster, they could keep it on the island. They wouldn't have to go too much over the water. They might want to go a bit over water just because it might make a lot more picturesque. And looking close to water, I think it'd look very good if it did that. But if it's a B&M Hyper, I can't really see it staying on the island that much, because B&M Hypers are quite long roller coasters. They do take up a lot of space. So I think they could start on the island, do a bit on the island, and then maybe go over here by the back of the park. We see here they might have to cut down some trees, or maybe work with some of the trees, going in and out the trees there, doing a load of airtime hills, and then turning around and going back, giving that out and back system there. Would be very good if they were to get a B&M Hyper. Okay, now I'm going to be considering some possible themings for the rides. I think some good themings, if it was a wooden roller coaster, would be maybe basing it around, and this is quite alternative, there's not a lot, I'm not sure of any roller coasters out here that have this theming, and that is basing it around surrealism, the kind of surreal art. They could even call the ride Salvador Dali, the famous surreal artist, or something like that would be pretty good. There could even be a lot of surreal art being seen in the queue line to give you something to look at, so you don't get bored in the queue line while you're waiting. So I think that would be very good as well, something like that. Or they could even base it around illusions. Maybe if it's an RMC given an indoor section, that might be very good, much like Saw, but basing it around illusions. You could go through some tunnels that make you feel like you're spinning around, so that'd be very good, basing it around illusions there. And again, using some interactive experiences with illusions in the queue line. And I was thinking maybe something they could do, because when I went to Lake District, there's this place in Keswick called the Puzzling Place. So this is basically based around illusions, showing you how they're done. You see some examples. I think something like that would be very good. Having that in the queue line, so something interactive, so you don't get bored in the queue line, would be very good. Another thing I was considering, this will work for wooden roller coasters, but I think this name would also work for B&M Hyper coasters. Now it's calling it Lakeside, obviously, because on an island there's like water going all around it. Just calling it Lakeside would be very good. Again, you could interact with the water. I think that'd be very good. Like B&M Hypers are quite known for. There's quite a few examples here. For example, here Shambhala has a splashdown element, if you see there. So it could go over the lake, have a splashdown element. That would be very good there. And I think that would look very nice and make the ride a lot better. Another thing I was considering, I think this name would probably work better for a B&M Hyper, and that's calling it Kaiju. And Kaiju is Japanese for monster. And for example, a famous Kaiju would be Godzilla. So they could have a 30-foot animatronic one that if you press the buttons, it roars or does various noises and movements, and that would be very good for them to get. A lot of theming going on around with that. They call it Kaiju. Yes, it's one of those themings or names I think would be very good. Okay, well now I'm going to be reading out suggestions of what other people think Thorpe Park's next roller coaster might be. And Matthew Paul here said he would think Thorpe Park's next coaster should be a B&M Hyper, and he gives the reasons as to why. It says they don't have ones that obviously deal with airtime. It don't have one which have the lap bars or have the shoulder restraints, as I mentioned before. Also would be the perfect location behind the Swarm on the island there over there. All the similar reasons that I've given. And he's also went on to give other reasons, as to say it'd also be like seeing it on the M3. You get a nice view of the Hyper on the M3 there. And also suggests it might go around to near the Nemesis shop and sort of go back to there. And also there was probably some rumours as to that it might be going round by the Nemesis Inferno shop. So yeah, that's a very good thing to consider. So thank you for that. He also says here, later on suggesting that he think it will be Hyper and it'll actually be the tallest one in the UK. I'm pretty sure it will be. I'm not sure about tallest in the UK, obviously. I still like Stealth to be taller, but definitely the biggest drop. You can take that record from Big One over at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And Matthew Paul also had another suggestion for another option he would like, which will be located in the island behind Loggers Leap, if you see over here, and that would be some sort of RMC Woody coaster, like I mentioned before, but obviously putting it over there, that's something I never considered actually, but I think that'd be a pretty good location. I can see it weaving in and out of the trees, sort of hovering above the trees, and then sort of going down, and you can't see it anymore as it goes all around the forest area. I think that'd be pretty good. And he also says some sort of RMC hybrid, maybe backwards RMC launch, much like Lightning Rod, except obviously just going backwards. I'm not sure about backwards because me personally, I actually prefer Swarm going forwards. So I think an overall experience, I actually prefer a roller coaster when it goes forward. But maybe you could have a couple of seats facing backwards so you can get a bit of both experiences going on there. That'd be something very good, and that would be a world's first for the RMC. So I think that'd be a very good thing to consider there. So thank you for that. And Jake Onmier said, I think a B&M Hyper, which a lot of people are suggesting, or a Mack Mega Coaster would be a very good investment for Thorpe. I think a Mack Mega Coaster would be very good. Welcome the island there, keep it on the island. I think a Mack Mega Coaster would also look very beautiful going over the water there. I think that would look very good there. Obviously, Mack Mega Coasters are much like your Blue Fire over Europe Park or Helix over in Leisburg. I think that'd be a very good thing to consider. We haven't got a Mack Mega Coaster over here, so possibly one of them. I was hoping for something maybe not inversions this time. I know Mack Mega Coasters do have inversions. They possibly could do one without inversions. It might just have some nice speeds to it. Obviously, they do some launches, but are much more smoother on the launches than your intimate accelerators. In fact, sometimes you get some speed up and then you go through some launches. You have multiple launches going on. So something to consider. Perhaps something without inversions, I think, next. But maybe, maybe the roller coaster after there, wooden roller coaster or Hyper. Maybe a Mack Mega would be good there. And Matthew Paul also suggested maybe another type of coaster would be brilliant, some sort of 300-foot B&M digger coaster like the Firefin or Fury at Carowinds. I'm not sure about 300-foot. I did see a post up somewhere that someone said that their height limit is 300 feet. I'm not sure if this is true. If anyone knows it is true, then leave a comment. Obviously, they did have struggle getting stealth in first because the original height limit was 115 feet when they had detonator, and then local residents let that go to an extra 100 feet. It says here on Coaster Force that they let it go an extra 100 feet so they could get stealth. Obviously, that's over 200 feet. So I'm not sure about 300 feet. If that statement is true, and a couple of other statements I've seen, then they could possibly consider that. But again, working with stealth, I'd still would like stealth to be the tallest. Again, they could work ditches, but this would need to be a 100-foot ditch or 100 foot underground. That might be a bit difficult. Mind you, bear in mind, actually, Oblivion does go quite a bit underground, actually. So they could probably do something like that. As long as stealth is actually still the tallest. And Secret Honesty left a comment on Twitter saying, I think Thorpe Park should get a flawless coaster. I would like to get a flawless coaster maybe in the future, considering there isn't any over here in the UK. But considering these sort of send you through a lot of inversions, I prefer them to get something like a wooden coaster or a B&M Hyper that don't sort of rely on that. But yeah, that's something to consider for the future. Maybe that or a Mack Mega Coaster would be something after this sort of wooden roller coaster or the B&M Hyper. But yeah, thank you for the suggestion. There's also this image that was created by Dominic Davis of the B&M Hyper he would like. You see there, it's featuring all the camelback elements, the splashdown element as well, and also the helixes and everything. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, well, thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. My next video like this will be what will be Alton Towers' next roller coaster. So you want to leave any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll make sure they get read out in the video and I'll respond to them. So but yeah, thank you for watching.